So since my first two character studies were about characters that I don't like, I've decided to do a character study about one that I actually do like. So, who better to examine than Taarna, by far the most memorable character of heavy metal, my favorite movie. First, a little bit of history. So the movie itself is inspired by a heavy metal magazine, and as such, many of the characters within the movie were inspired by or directly lifted from it. Interestingly enough, the magazine was inspired by the French magazine Metal Hurlant, which is French for howling metal. It is here that we find the stories of Arzak by French cartoonist Mobius, real name Jean Giraud, who has been acclaimed by such people as Federico Fellini, Hayao Miyazaki, and even Stan Lee. But I'm getting off track here. So it is in these stories that we find a lot of the artwork that really inspires the movie, as well as the prototype for the pterodactyl that Taarna rides. Now, to put her character into context with the rest of the movie. So, throughout the entire movie, women are pretty much just there to take their clothes off. And, when I was a kid, that was really the only thing that I was interested in about this movie. But then when I got into high school, that's when I realized that it's a piece of art. I really appreciate the animation. I appreciate the music, just everything about it, including the nudity, of course. But, yeah. Off the top of my head, only two of the other women in the entire movie actually serve any point to their plots. And one of them is just a trophy to be won, really, to be honest. So yeah, there's a lot of objectification going on in the movie, and even though I love the movie itself, I certainly recognize its faults. But anyway, in contrast to the other women, Taarna is represented with great amount of dignity. I mean, yes, we do get to see a lot of TNA, and yes, her armor is like fucking RPG levels of skimpy. But still, she's the most badass character in the entire movie, and she manages to do so. She manages to be so without saying a single word. It's weird that South Park chose her to be in Kenny's hallucinations and not any of the other women, but whatever. I've been working in a coal mine, going down, down, working in a coal mine, about to slip down. Anyway, an evil army ends up attacking a defenseless city. And I'm not the one saying they're defenseless, their leader is.
We are not a race of warriors. We are statesmen and scientists.
It turns out that the city would call on an ancient race of people called the Terrakians in times of need. Which really begs the question, why don't you have a system to detect an oncoming threat instead of calling on the Terrakians in the middle of an attack? That's just stupid. But whatever. So, Taarna's the only Terrakian left, and she arrives at the city too late to save anybody. She ends up finding a necklace from one of the army guys that was ripped off in a struggle by one of the leaders. She ends up tracking down a few of the people to a bar where Devo just so happens to be playing. So after some of the green guys start harassing her, she ends up giving them a piece of her mind. And Taarna then finds out where to find the rest of the people from the bartender. And again, she doesn't even have to say a word.
You'll find them over there, beyond the oasis, towards the green glow.
So she and the pterodactyl are caught in a net after finding the people, And after getting whipped a bunch of times by the leader, Taarna is then put into a pit, presumably to die. And, what I really don't understand is why they just didn't throw her down like this guy. And I also don't understand why they throw down her armor and weapon. It really makes it easy when the pterodactyl manages to escape and, pick her up. I mean, it looks like they're about to get away, though, but the pterodactyl ends up getting shot in the neck with an arrow. Jesus. So now we get a one-on-one between Taarna and the leader of the bad guys. He manages to cut her up a good few times with his blade hand, and Taarna swings on him, but he grabs her sword and is able to throw it just out of her reach. But just as he's about to land the finishing touches on her, the pterodactyl bites him in the leg, and while he's distracted, Taarna hits him on the head with a pipe. She then drives the blades into his neck and knocks off his helmet to deliver the finishing blow with her own fist. And with his death, the ground begins to tremble, and the volcano that turned everybody evil starts to glow, and it looks like it's about to erupt. So in a final act of heroism, Taarna flies above it and sacrifices herself, making the universe safe from evil for another generation. So that's Taarna. Definitely the most badass depiction of a woman that I've ever seen. Yes, you could argue that sexualizing her takes away from her dignified portrayal, but I mean, then again, the comic it's based on has a lot of nudity in it, so it's just part of the style, I guess. All in all, though, she's a fantastic character. Thanks for watching. If you have a suggestion for a character study, I'd love to hear it. Also, be sure to like and subscribe. Peace.
It's your